Hey everybody, I'm Kris Dunn. She's Jessica Lee. He's Tim Sackett. We do a little podcast called HR Famous. I help run a recruiting function for a company called Kinetics on the partner vendor side, based out of Atlanta. I'm going to read this title. Jessica, VP of Performance and Talent Advisory at Marriott.
The world's largest travel company. Yes.
The world's largest travel company.
And we know what Jessica does. We know what Jessica does, but she's got a new title, so we had to get the new title in.
We could talk a half hour just for the title alone. He's Tim Sackett, President and Chief Everything at HRU Tech, based out of Detroit, doing work nationally. Hey, so the deal on the podcast is we generally spin up 2 or 3 topics. Happy to be a part of TalentNet Dallas. What we don't have a lot is we don't have like a chat like thing. So we don't have any polls for you today. But what Tim loves more than ever, when people try and take him down in the chat, he just really, really likes that. So we're going to just talk about a couple things. One of the things that's super interesting to us, just related to what's going on in the world of talent, specifically talent acquisition and recruiting. You know, Jobvite just did some great research. They do some great research a couple times a year. There's something came out called the Jobvite Recruiter Nation report. Basically surveyed 800 recruiters. Jessica, are you interested in terms of what the margin of error is based on everything we just came off of? It's 3.5%.
I am interested. And by the way, I actually, Tim, you should feel good. You're not president-elect. You are the president of HRU Tech.
I know. No one, I don't have to fight anybody. It is what it is, right?
He's holding on to that title too. Nobody's going to take it away from him, Jay Lee. All right. So we got this thing called the Recruiter Nation report, and we're going to hit on 3 things here. So hit us up in the chat if you want to talk about something else. We're happy to pontificate. So Jay Lee, I'm going to come to you first. So these numbers are the difference in surveys of recruiters doing work. This is both in-house recruiters on the corporate level, but also some agency folks. The difference between 2017 and 2020, here's what dropped. First of all, growing talent pipeline dropped from 52% of recruiters being focused on that in 2017 to a chilly 22% in 2020, adjusted for COVID. Improving time to hire dropped 40 to 23% as a focus point across recruiters, 17 to 20. Growing employer brand dropped from 35% to 19%. Improving candidate experience. Don't you dare come in yet, Tim Sackett. I know you just get frothy when you hear candidate experience. Dropped from 26% to 16%. And increasing retention rate, Jessica, dropped from 32% to 24%. So once again, Jay Lee, that's from 2017 to 2020. Got a lot of stuff going on here with COVID. You just heard those numbers. What do you see? What's that mean to you?
Well, I think when people download and look at the report, they're probably going to be disappointed when they see those numbers. But what I can't help but wonder is, mostly this has to be attributed to people's teams becoming leaner, right? You didn't have the full team that you might have had in the past. And so everyone has to be scrambling and doing things reactively and not doing the more strategic recruiting stuff that we all want to be doing. I just want to hope that that's it and that it's nothing else, right? What other explanation is there?
Jay, I think it still comes back to we, as a talent acquisition function, for the most part, the majority of us are still very reactionary versus, proactive. And I think those numbers speak to that. It's we have to right ditch, left ditch every single time something happens versus, continuing down this path of we're going to build better pipelines of talent in those roles that are critical for us to, improve or be better or gain, revenue, whatever that might be. Instead, we just we switch off and on, and we shouldn't do that. But
yeah, I think the other thing, Jay Lee, that I thought it was incredibly honest, because I think that if somebody gets surveyed, if a recruiter gets surveyed, it's pretty sexy to say, yeah, I'm involved. I'm growing the talent pipeline. Right. Yep. This is the patch I recruit for, and I'm interested and I'm growing it. And I think the 52 to 22% on that one is reflective of COVID and all the things you guys said. But Jay Lee, don't you think it's incredibly honest? I felt like it's pretty
totally
clean
honest.
shot.
Yeah. And then we'll talk more about some of the other insights that came out of the research, but there's a thread of honesty in all of it where you're like, whoa, maybe a little bit too honest, folks, in terms of the things that you're willing to cop to and admit. But it takes some humility to say, yeah, I'm not doing these things right now. And I am just being reactive and posting and praying.
Speaking of honesty, let me give you there were only a couple of upward shifts that they noted from 2017 to 2020. I'll give you one of these, which I thought was a brutally honest take based on everything that's happened in 2020, is diversity hiring as a place recruiters were spending time and focus on only rose from 13% in 2017 of recruiters being focused on that to 22% being focused on it in 2020. Again, to your point, teams have shrunk, right? There's not enough time. But again, I just thought it was a lot of brutal honesty there, based on maybe the time people have, based on the sizes of the teams. And to Tim's point, everybody's doing everything. But
hey, by the way, I got this whole diversity thing. So Charney was on Twitter this week, maybe last night, the night before. And I've met Charney, for those who don't know, big, obviously guy in TA, former co-worker of Craig Fisher over at Allegis. He made a comment about diversity recruiters and how in reality, having the title of diversity recruiting, or actually physically, or not really physically, but just going after diverse hires, is actually somewhat illegal, right? If we were saying, hey, we're just going after white dudes, that would be fine. But, and so there was this whole kind of going back and forth on all of this, which I thought was kind of comical. And again, it goes back to the Google thing. Are you doing this for good versus evil? Clearly these organizations, because of social justice, because, all the data around having a diverse and inclusive work environment are going out. But we totally just disassociate ourselves from saying, oh, we are going right after one certain group of people, and we think that's completely fine. And having that person have that title, it is unique. Matt always wants to push the buttons, right? So he kind of pushed the button on Twitter to see the reaction, and he got some of it for sure.
Oh, I think I saw the tweet. I'm not on Twitter all the time anymore, but I think he might have made the analogy to racial profiling. That's maybe what caught my eye. I was like, okay, we're going to have that conversation. But actually, so question, Kris, because when you talk about this being an honest thing that people were talking about, did you think that number was low, that it's only a shift to 11% and not higher?
I thought, based on everything, in the aftermath of George Floyd, all the corporate initiatives for big companies, big brands that had a lot of pizzazz, I would expect people, even if they're just clunking around, and they really have a plan, but they're looking for diverse candidates, I would have expected that number to be 50, 60% for people just to say, yeah, this is something, even if they haven't been focused on it yet, they know they should say that. And so, Jay Lee, does that make sense? I just thought it was not necessarily correct, but I thought it was honest for the number to be that low. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You would have guessed that it would be higher, but what I do wonder is, are the mandates not coming down? Are hiring managers not asking for it? These recruiters may individually have an interest in trying to do more of it, but if the priority isn't there, if they don't have KPIs against it, if they're not being asked about it by hiring managers, then why would they?
Hey, Jay, is some of this also good times versus bad times? When we're in the good times and TA's fat and happy, we got money thrown at us left and right because we need to hire everybody. We can do cool stuff, hey, we're going to focus on diversity and diversity programs and do all this. And all of a sudden, the belt gets tightened and someone's going, we have to be inclusive, but don't worry about that right now. We just have to, because we have so few hires, we're just going to hire the best people. Because what was one of the things that came out of the Jobvite thing was quality of hire shot through the roof. That was one of the biggest kind of things that also was there in some of that data, was we're really concerned. Well, of course, if you can only hire one person versus 10, you better hire a really damn good person. Now, I'm not saying that somebody that's inclusive or diverse isn't a really good person, but I think our executives just walk away from that stuff so quickly when times get tight.
I
Yeah.
really miss the days of being fat and happy. I was thinking about that the other day. I miss business travel.
Hey, and
Travel.
the other thing is the Jobvite survey is not, they're going to have a lot of enterprise folks in there, but they're going to have a mix too.
Yeah.
Jobvite's a provider that really grew up in the SMB. They've transitioned away from that. I think they provide at all levels. But I think to both of your points, I think the lower you go down in the food chain in terms of company size, the fewer resources that are going to be there. And I think that happens. By the way, for everybody listening, I just shared a link to the Jobvite survey. If you want to go grab the PDF, again, hit us up in the chat.
Hey, did you do that on event chat or on stage chat?
I'll move it over.
Or backstage. There's like 3 ones you can choose. So you want to do the stage one.
Jay Lee,
That's where the talk is coming from. So anyway, Dan Wilkerson actually shared it as well, KD, in the chat.
There's so many chats.
I know, there's so many chats.
And you know what it's time for, Tim? It's time to stop being so serious about which chat is right, which one's the right chat. It's also time to stop being so serious about all the bad news.
Jay put it in the right chat. Don't worry.
Let's make fun of some recruiters. How about that?
Yeah.
Do you want to make fun of Tim though? Because people are making fun of Tim in the chat.
My beard, my kind of beard. It's
what are they saying?
To be a beard. I'm not trying to grow a beard. I'm trying to be like, what do they call it? Like just a little rough, sexy. Like, just enough to, be itchy. Not like really long.
It's like the most interesting man in the world meets Family Ties or something like that.
Yeah, a ginger. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm now in the right chat, by the way, Jay Lee. Thank you for sharing that. Let's stop being serious. I want to talk about video interviewing and just the vanity of the recruiters we work with. Some of you out here on this call, certainly Tim Sackett, certainly not Jessica Lee, maybe me. Here's something that was super interesting from the Jobvite survey. Jay Lee, 95% of the 800 plus recruiters who responded to this survey are, I'm quoting, very comfortable with video interviews. And their comfort level with video interviewing was higher than any other method of interviewing. It's just amazing. Now, what's interesting, Jay Lee, is they had some bones to pick with candidates, okay? So 95% of recruiters thought they were great, but they didn't think candidates were necessarily that good at video interviewing. Some of their biggest pet peeves for candidates on the video interviewing front during 2020, Jay Lee, poor connectivity, 37%. How dare you, Mr. or Mrs. Candidate, be sharing a broadband pipe with—
What are you, Amish? We're not hiring Amish people. How can you have bad internet? Come on.
That's one of our pet peeves on this pod, though, is when some of our hosts have poor connectivity.
Yeah, that's kind of why I went and did
I'm
that.
really against
Also, inappropriate attire might be the hoodie. Inappropriate attire, 25%. And then Jay Lee, and you take it from here, poor eye contact, 23%. These were the nits that the recruiters had to pick. But by the way, 95% of us say, we're good to go. We got this under control.
I'm sad. I just think we're so petty. Like, I don't know how else to describe like what that is just pettiness though.
We are petty.
Like, I mean, the thing is, like, the casual attire for an interview. Like I said, like, I was interviewing some people recently for an opening I have on my team. And I had some people who did put on, like, it looked like a suit jacket, others who were a little bit more casual. And I just thought, you poor soul, I know you're in your living room or the basement and you went and put on this jacket for this interview. And I felt bad for them. It's not real. It's not reality. I'm interviewing you from my son's bedroom right now where the door behind me is locked. And I know you're in some comparable situation. And yet we're going to judge them for not like dressing up. I hate it.
Jay, one of the things I find though, is that most recruiters and almost all hiring managers that we have like doing video interviews have never done one themselves. And so they don't know how awkward it is. And even like the one-way video, like the video screeners things, I think are even more difficult because the question comes up and all of a sudden like this little thing comes down and all of a sudden the video starts and you panic and you're trying to fill the space and the time, and like it's an abnormal way to have a communication with somebody. And I think like the best thing we can do as recruiters and hiring managers is actually physically make them do it themselves. And that way, when they're looking at a video screener or doing a video interview, they just have so much more empathy towards and compassion towards what's really happening. It's so bad.
Get ready to turn up the volume on your HR game. I'm Jay Arnold, former musician turned HR leader and host of Backstage Pass, the HR Rockstar. Each episode pulls back the curtain on key HR topics, from leadership lessons and bold career pivots to the latest in HR tech and talent strategies, featuring the rock stars within their industries. If you're ready to shake up the status quo and amplify your impact, this is your all-access pass. You can catch the show on the Work-Defying Podcast Network and wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe now, and let's rock the future of work together.
Yeah. I mean, the poor eye contact thing, on the empathy front and needing to have it, like, where are you supposed to look? You're supposed to look at the screen, the camera, your notes, that. This is the thing that I don't understand. It's like the level of pettiness about things like poor eye contact. Like, my God, please.
But by the way, Jay Lee, like, it's a gettable thing. You like, where is the eye contact? That's probably the hardest thing. I'm fascinated by your interview process, though. Tell me more about the close. Were you interviewing males or females? And of course, let's bust on the males, like wearing suit jackets.
By the way, the chat is a lot of people actually have the blazer tie. Like, other people are getting, that's pretty normal, I think, for some people that are interviewing for a formal position.
Jay Lee, give us the goodies.
So in this case, like this last round of candidates I had, it was all women. It did all happen to be females, and some of them did put suit jackets on, and I felt bad for them. I'm like, I know you just put that blazer on for this conversation, and it's so unnatural. And like, I give you some points for trying, but it's not necessary. I don't expect it. Like, I know you're a professional. You're coming from, some great backgrounds and experiences, and like, I don't need you to put a suit on. I don't have that expectation, and I would hope that we would, not have others hold people to that standard.
Hey, KD, I want to get back to the Jobvite thing because there was one thing, I think it's on page 5 for those who had a chance to download it. And it's the recruitment investment focus and time over the next 12 months. That to me, I was like, when I saw this, it kind of made me angry. I was just, I ranted. So I'm going to break all the top 5 down. So here's what recruiters said that they're going to, over the next 12 months. So from right now, or whenever this was done, like into 2021, number one at 46%, and this was 41% in 2018, was social media. Number one, that's my focus in time and investment. Number 2 was LinkedIn at 40%. 3 was employee referrals, which I think is completely legitimate, way underutilized, high ROI. Number 4 is job boards, which is at 34%, which basically is LinkedIn as well. And then recruiters' professional networks, which I'm not even sure what the hell that is, at 29%. I think that investment focus is so far off base. I can't even fathom if I had a recruiter come to me and said they're going to spend 40% of their time, or that was their number one focus for the year, was social media, I would punch them in the face and fire them. They would be, I can't even believe that would be the number one thing.
By the way, people think that we have subpar performance when it comes to the video. They can't see our pupils, but I'm like, my eyes aren't that big. Like, and my pupils are black and my eyes are near black. Like, you're never going to see my pupils.
And I'm high as a kite.
But I digress.
Yeah.
So Timmy, do you want to rant any more about social media?
Anyone else?
Again, like for like, if I'm going to have an investment in focus, if I'm a TA leader and I have a team, I'm going to say, okay, where are we going to spend our focus during this time? Number 1 is going to be our own database. How are we going to nurture? How are we going to develop? How are we going to use that investment, what we have? Number 2, I'm going to go employee referrals or some kind of employee advocacy program, and I'm going to kill that to like the nth degree. And number 3 would be talent pipelines and making sure for focused, really high priority positions, I have great talent pipelines. And those were the ones I'm going to do. And so like to have social media, to me, it's just, I don't know what to do. And I don't have a lot of job recs. So I'm going to waste all my fucking day on social media. Like it irks me to the nth degree.
But here's the thing, you know why they're using social media. So the other interesting angle about the social media thing in this report is that I love that they broke down usage of social media between recruiters when you're looking at the men versus the women. And without fail, every channel, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, it is male recruiters using it more than female recruiters. And what does that tell us? Like, what is that about? YouTube, like just as an example, 43% of the men are using it versus 17% of the women. Instagram, 48% versus 30% of the women. Like they're using social media, Tim, for why?
The only way that I think we should be using more social media is figuring out TikTok for recruitment, because I think, I have a lot of fun on TikTok. I mean,
they are sliding into the DMs for reasons that are not related to a wreck. I just don't know what else is happening.
Things like that. Jay Lee, don't you think too? I mean, there's a different dynamic, male, female, and female recruiters are always going to be a little more careful around social for all the like stalker like reasons, right?
I mean, that is probable and possible. It's like to get away from the creepers who go from being a potential candidate to wanting your phone number and trying to ask you out. Like that's a possibility. Yes. But I mean, just stop being so creepy.
Yeah. The guys,
gentlemen,
guys, like men are pigs. Like we know this. Hey, by the way, I'm assuming this is where I'm supposed to wind Tim up for the TikTok report about how important it is to employment branding. By the way, for everybody listening, I don't have a TikTok account. Tim curates, basically what he sends me is he finds the top 3 Daniel Tosh like lip syncs for the day. He sends those over to me. It's like I'm the richest person in the world and I've just got a dude watching TikTok for me and gives me the top 3.
I'm fascinated by TikTok and the algorithms. I'm more fascinated on the algorithms that TikTok gets me into, because there's like a million different like channels on TikTok. Like you can have, gay dads with puppies, or like there's a million different kinds of TikTok you can go down. And somehow I got into hot moms that like to lip sync stand-up comics.
Are they divorced or single?
Fascinated by it?
Divorced or single moms? Because I love like the.
No, I've been in the divorced mom TikTok as well, and that gets a little scary. I think these are just normal like stay-at-home moms that are just bored and doing TikTok videos. So
I tried, by the way, like I tried one of like the dance challenges, and I looked so bad that I couldn't record it, I couldn't post it, but I practiced. I was like trying to do this like thing.
You have to believe when you do it, Jay Lee. You got to believe that comes through. Jay Lee, I want to go back before we kind of like close this up. I want to go back to your interview of candidates most recently. So I want to learn from you, a talented, already upwardly mobile HR executive. What can a dude wear? Like, so I heard you before, it was all like females, but now I'm trying to learn for myself. What can a dude wear to an interview with you that automatically, great resume, great interview, good verbal skills, sharing the stories, telling stories, but what can they wear?
Yeah, what's the video interview?
You're like Caesar in the Colosseum going, nope.
No, I would be fine if you wore a sweater, a polo shirt, a collared shirt, but if you put on a tie and a jacket, I just feel like that's too much. But you know what's even, so here's what I also saw happen recently. This is not in a recent interview, but probably a few months ago. The person had a ring light. I love the ring light. We all have our ring lights trying to make ourselves look more beautiful, but I could see the ring light reflection in his glasses. And then when it wasn't that, I could also see in the reflection of his glasses, his notes in his computer screen. And so he wasn't looking at me. I could see that he wasn't looking at me for the interview. He was looking at his notes on the screen. And I was like, I'm trying to make eye contact with you, and he just was looking at his notes.
I know.
And he did the eye contact.
Lose the glass.
The light came in more.
Yeah. Well, what about the?
Go ahead, Tim.
No, I said you want to use the ring light, but you got to lose the glasses, right? You can't have to
lose the glasses.
Yeah, that's JV. That's JV.
Don't put words in Jay Lee's mouth, though. She didn't say no glasses.
Yeah, just come in blind. I can't read my notes. I'm all
Hey,
confused.
Jaylee, what about like big blue blazer with big shoulders and gold buttons? Does that do anything for you?
I like it. If you drive a Cadillac to go with it, you're like channeling the insurance salesman vibes. I like it.
I feel profiled right now.
So Sachs, what we have to do to pull off the blazers, you got to go hoodie under the blazer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You got to go Ricky Rubio.
Yeah.
Oh, I would like
I don't
that.
think most people would get that nowadays. I think they would like, oh, what's that? What's up with that dude with the hoodie under the blazer?
With the hoodie and the sports
Wondering,
coat.
he must be cold. He didn't pay his heating bill, and he's freezing in his house with all those layers.
For sure.
Hey, last thing I've got for you two. Since Sackett went off on social, we may as well go to the other petty section. By the way, it's petty to us. Jobvite did an unbelievable job with this. It's petty on the recruiter's part. Biggest recruiter turnoffs. And I love the fact that Jobvite markets well enough where they'll just say biggest recruiter turnoffs when it comes to social.
Ugly people.
Here we go.
Right?
53% spelling and grammar errors in posts
Nazis.
or tweets. Here we go. I'm going to keep going. References to marijuana, 45%. It's a downer. It's a turnoff. Alcohol consumption on social, 42%. Take this crowd out of the mix. 32% political posts. And pictures of bodies showing skin, Jaylee.
Unless you're really sexy. Like if you're working out and you got the gun show going or something, or a 6-pack, then you can show that. But I don't want to see you in your bathing suit with the kids at some stupid Disney water park. That's gross.
You know what? True story, though. For some reason, I can't change my profile photo in one of my Google accounts, and it's from my 20s. And I think I'm partially in a swimsuit. I cannot, for the life of me, figure out how to update it. And so there are things like that happen, folks. It's
Yep.
I don't know, but petty for real, the spelling and grammar errors and poster tweets. I'm using my thumb, I'm typing away, I'm doing some things. You can't hold me accountable for misspelling something.
No, and by the way, Jaylee, so many people, especially hiring managers, are grammar Nazis, and I want to go was it Google and a lot of the tech companies have got to the point where now you don't have to have a 4-year degree to get the job because they're just looking at skills. But then you're like, wait a minute, you used the wrong 2, so I'm not going to hire you. Are you kidding me right now?
And that's in a post or a tweet. That's not even in the resume.
Sure. Exactly. Yeah.
Jaylee, hey, before we go and we bring Craig back in, didn't you have something about also judging people? I think cover letters are up. Right?
Cover letters are up. Other things that people are evaluating, resume format, caring more about resume format, caring more about references. Part of me is resume format. Do we really care about that these days? Does that really matter? And then references, I was actually surprised by, how much people are using that as an evaluation factor because are we doing that? We're checking references on everyone, and we're really trusting that what we're hearing from that conversation is
Jaylee, not a reference.
KD, you want to talk about good COVID, bad COVID? One of the things that COVID has done is brought back the professional resume writer profile person, right, in a big way. I have a couple of friends that do that, and their business is skyrocketing because people lose their jobs and they just go, oh my gosh, I haven't written a resume in 10 years, and they freak out about it. And I'm like, it's not really that difficult, but they believe it is, and they want somebody else to kind of help them through that. And then nowadays with the resume comes a LinkedIn profile, developing that profile, making sure that fits, cleaning their social streams, making sure that's scrubbed pretty well.
Profile photos with swimsuits.
Whole industry on that. Yeah, making sure you have the right headlines.
Did you say whole industry or whole industry? What did you say?
Hey, Tim, and then we'll bring Craig back in. If you're a resume writer, is that a career of hope or is that a career of despair? I'm trying to make up my mind on the fly.
You better be a dealer in hope if you're selling resume services, right? What I'm going to give you is going to get you that dream job. You're a dealer in hope.
But do you drink a lot? At the end of the day?
Oh, for sure. I mean, all day long, you're pumping people up that have no shot. They're paying you cash and they can't get a job. Because what you really want to tell them is look, you need to lose weight, get a good haircut, lose the tweed jacket, you got to give them all that life advice. That's more of a life coach kind of thing, right?
Or that's like when I was a paid wing woman. Same thing. Pumping people up.
Oh, that's a
giving
great
them life
story.
advice.
Yeah, I wish we had time for that story. Craig, I think we're bumping up against the end of our time, are we not?
I want to hear the paid wing woman story. I think
It's a great story.
I think I've heard it, but I want everyone else to hear it.
Are we going there? Oh, well, so I love having a side hustle. And in my 20s, I decided to pick up a side hustle as being a paid wing woman. And I knew someone who was starting up a company to help gentlemen in the DC metro area meet the loves of their lives. And so I was a paid wing woman. And what I would do is I would get a client, we would go out to a bar, and I would pretend to be like his best friend. And like the whole premise of it was, if that guy's hanging out with her and she's fun and cool, like surely he must be a decent person. And so it was a lot of facilitation of conversations and helping these gentlemen to, meet love. Like this is before Tinder. So you had to get a wing woman.
Was that a career of hope or despair, Jaylee?
She was drunk every night. Yeah.
There was a lot of despair, but I needed to provide them with hope that you too can find yourself a mate. It was sad though.
So good.
So good. So much fun.
All right.
I could hear that all day.
Hey guys,
one of my favorite ever side
That's
hustles.
HR Famous. So we're going to throw you back to Craig, but check out the pod. I think we're on number 39 or 40. We're going to actually put this one up, I think, as our 40th episode. And so this is the banter you get with the three of us. So check us out.
You guys are lapping me by like triple podcast production. It's not fair, but there's three of you. So I guess that makes sense.
You've got a kick-ass bookcase though.
Thank you. A lot of good DVDs back there.
Not a lot of books. It's all
nobody. there's some books.
He doesn't read. He just watches.
Love it.
Who reads? Thank you, HR Famous. This is amazing. I mean, really good. And my dogs agree. Did you hear that? There was applause in the background.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys donating your time today. And by donating, I mean I'm not sending you a gift card.
Okay.
You're my favorites, and it should be called HR Favorites, I think, because I think you're everyone's fave, and we appreciate you. This was really interesting, and we're getting all kinds of good feedback in the chat. In fact, our next guests, Jim D'Amico and Connie Clark, said, "Let them go. They're doing great. They're killing it." So we're calling off the rest of the show. We can't even finish after this. Too good.
Thanks, Greg.
Yep.
Thank
good
you.
to see you guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Nice to
it.
see you.